Hey guys, I just was reflecting on something about the inflation rate because people of a higher status, they don't keep their money in savings accounts. And I'm going to show you why. It's because inflation is your biggest threat to your wealth, as well as taxes, but inflation's up there. So if we were to measure inflation, right? If you ask any random Joe Schmo in the street who has no idea what they're talking about, they're going to tell you inflation is about 3%. And that's because that's what like CNBC and Fox, whatever tells you. That's not the inflation rate. Okay. If there's a couple different ways you can measure it. If you were to measure inflation based on money printing, right, which would be like M3, the inflation rate back to 1980 is about 6% annually, right? So for every, say, 100,000 you keep in your bank account, which most of you will not have 100,000 in your bank account, but assume you do, you're going to lose 6,000 in buying power. Now, if you were to measure inflation against the S&P 500, right, like you could put your money in here or keep in your bank account, this would have grown your money 17%. Look at the chart. Through all of these recessions, this is the last 5 years. This is COVID. And then this is that massive tariff recession. We lost like almost 20% right here. Through all of this, we still ended up being about 17% yearly return on your money. Or you could keep it in the bank account and lose the 3%, 6%. It's really 6%. 3% is the cost of goods and services going up. 6% is the amount of money. Every president's done it. I don't care if you think it's Republicans or Democrats. They've all done it. They've all doubled the money supply. Okay, it's irrelevant. The only one who doesn't double the money supply is the libertarians, but Rand Paul and Ron Paul are never getting voted into office because it only makes up like 2% of the population even knows what that term is. That's all you have to do. Rich people put their money in here and it just grows. That's it. They can borrow against it. They can leverage against it. So say you put your money into a bank account, right? Then what? In a regular checking account, and as a thank you, right? The bank's going to give you like 0.0001% of your money, which is nothing. Okay. Or you could put it in here. And then if you want your money, right, they're going to ask you all these 9 million questions. Well, what do you want it for? Why do you want so much in cash? Can we give you a loan on it? And if you do want to get a loan, and use it to buy something, it's a crapshoot. Okay? And you can only withdraw your money. Think about that. Like if you have 100 grand in the account, you can only withdraw 100 grand. If you put 100 grand in, say, the S&P 500, that's growing at 17% as opposed to losing 6%, you could you could loan, you could withdraw up to 400 grand, really, because the margin maintenance ends up being about 25% is the law. It would grow. It would grow. That's what rich people do. I'm going to show you guys, let's measure it against gold. Let's measure it against gold in the next video.